What's going on, guys? All right, so this is a video that I've been planning to make for a while. I just never got around to it. I've just been busy recording the actual in-game stuff, right? Actual in-game content, but I decided to go ahead and actually get around to recording this video. So if you guys remember, a couple days ago, I did make a top 10 regular unit tier list or ranking, whatever you want to call it, and a lot of people were, you know, saying that it was pretty much accurate. They kind of agreed with me. Of course, they had a few other options and units that you could put on there, but in doing that, I wanted to make a collab tier list or ranking. My apologies, ranking. I don't want to call it a tier list, right? I don't want people to be like, oh, well, this isn't a tier list, because it's not. It's more so a ranking of my personal top 10 collab units in the game, and you guys can see right here who they are. A lot of these units are kind of, I would say these four, right? Amelia, Kyo, Ram, and Rem, they are solid where they're at. I do not think that they will move down for a while until we get other collab units. So I'm pretty, I'm pretty certain, and I'm sure that these are the top four. Like, there is no discussion about it. These are the top four. However, once you get to, these other units here, it becomes a lot more, I would say, controversial. So let's go ahead and let's get started with number 10. I did put Athena. I think Athena is an amazing unit, for a collab character. I think she's an amazing unit. Obviously, overall in the game, she isn't that crazy anymore. When she came out, she was, but her passive isn't, the most broken. It was back then. It was really strong back then, but it's not anymore. You do have to defeat an enemy in order for her passive to proc, and doing that is good, right? Doing that is actually really cool, because you can make some pretty good team comps. But the problem is, if you don't kill an enemy, her passive isn't gonna proc, and then she's just basically fodder, right? So she's not doing much. Also, her skill, I think something that really cucks her is the fact that she only stuns on rank 3. If she had what Ram had, like Goddess Elizabeth and stuff like that, she would be incredible. She would be absolutely incredible, because she would cancel stance and stun on rank 2 rather than just rank 3. But unfortunately, she only stuns and cancels stances on rank 3. So it is what it is. Also, her detonate card is pretty good. I just don't think it's enough to save her, and her ultimate is alright. Her ultimate is okay, but otherwise, she's not the craziest. She's fair. Like, I would give her a fair rating if I had to rate her. Definitely other better collab units for sure. Number 9. Levi. I know this might surprise a lot of people, but Levi low-key can still be ran in PvE content. It's just he doesn't do as much damage as you want. The fact of the matter is, his crit damage is terrible. His crit damage is horrible, and I think they should have made this 170 off rip, because his crit chance is 10%. His crit chance is 10%. I think they should have equaled it out by making the crit damage 170. And the reason why it's that low, by the way, is because he will guarantee crit if he does attack the enemy with the lowest HP. If he's attacking an enemy with the lowest HP, he's gonna crit guaranteed, right? He's gonna crit no matter their crit resistance, their crit defense. He will crit. So that is good about him. But I think they could have made his damage a lot better, like his crit damage a lot better. And also, his defense sucks. I know this is, not his level 80, but for a level 1 start, 230 is terrible. Like, it's bad. Like, that is really bad. But yeah, so he does have Despair as well. He has Spike. I'm not a huge fan of Spike, but it does work with him since he can guarantee crit, and also Despair, since he's guaranteed critting, he's guaranteed healing as well. So all in all, he's not terrible in terms of like overall collab characters. He's just not good. I would say there are better options, especially when it comes to collab characters, than Levi. But out of the batch, Levi definitely lasted the longest. Titan Aaron sucks. Mikasa's not that good. Blue SR Aaron actually isn't bad. he's just an SR. Right, so he's an SR, so it is what it is. But I definitely would say Levi is deserving of number 9. I don't think there's any other collab character that's taken his spot. I don't think Rimuru, Benimaru, Rimuru, or not Rimuru, Milium, Mike, Will, I just don't think anybody is taking his spot. He's fine at number 9. He's actually fine. Mai is a unit that is actually very, very good depending on the situation. If she crits, she is a phenomenal unit, a absolute powerhouse. But if she doesn't, she's okay. Like, she's okay. Her crit chance is 50%. I'm assuming, you know, it'll probably end up being like, I don't know, 56% or something like that when max built. But that's the problem. Nowadays, units have crit resistance that is 100%. So her critting is not going to be that often, but she also has, you know, ult depletion card as well, which helps her out immensely. I think she's better than Levi and Athena, by the way. Just hands down, I think she's better than them. I think she is actually better than them. You could say honestly that she's better than Jim. It just depends, right? It honestly just depends on the situation. You could change these two. You definitely could. I'm not saying Mai is bad, by the way, because a lot of people might take this out of context and say, oh, you said Jim is better than Mai. Oh, she's terrible. No, what I'm saying is that I feel like for the most part, if you have these two units, you're probably going to run Jim over Mai. You know, Mai is amazing. She is a really good unit. When she crits, she's phenomenal, but she has to crit, and that's the problem, right? She has to crit, and you guys already know how that goes nowadays. She does have Amplify. AoE Amplify is not common at all, right? AoE Amplify is not common. I think, honestly, let me see. Is she... I don't think she's the only one who has. I think there's another person who... Is she? Is she actually the only one who has AoE Amplify? Single target ult. Single target skill. I think Titan Aaron, when he transforms, has AoE amp. Does he? No, he has single target. I think she is she the only one. Wow. I think Athena honestly is the only one who has an AoE amplify. What about... Yeah, she is. Wow. Okay. That is very, very interesting. Okay, so she's the only one in the game that has an AoE amplify, which is very, very good. The problem is it's a lot weaker than single target, but if you're giving her buffs, like with Margaret, and she also increases her basic stats on her passive, she could go off, man. She could. Yeah, and then her ultimate increases the ranks of all her skills. So whatever skills are on the field, she will increase the ranks of. That is really, really good, actually. They should give more units a kit like Mai. Maybe I am underestimating Mai. Maybe I actually... Is Mai above Jim? I'll let you in the comments. Let me know down below. Am I underestimating Mai? I feel like Jim is still on top, though. I really feel like it, because Jim has a lot going for him. He actually does. You know, he can stun, he can ult deplete, and his ultimate is a weak point. Very, very simple kit that he has, but it works. He also has more crit chance, and I think he has more crit damage. No, they have the same amount of crit damage. Okay. I don't know. I actually don't know. He also does have this, though. So direct hit allows enemies with this you know, this debuff to take 40% more damage. This could work for collab heroes, all of them, though. So I don't know, maybe Mai is above Jim. You could say that. You could actually say that. In terms of kit, maybe, but I think Omega Rugel is above both, by the way. I truly believe he is above both of these units. The reason for this, Omega Rugel is so strong. He is very strong. I don't think a lot of people give him credit. He is very powerful. He don't even need to be run with Pierce team, by the way. If you give him Pierce on the attack roll for gear, his Pierce rate is going to be absolutely incredible. Obviously, when paired with Lilia or Green Gulther, it's gonna get higher. But even him alone, he can still dish out really good damage. And keep in mind, you can't just kill him. You have to one-shot. You have to one-shot Rugel in order for his passive not to proc. If his passive procs, he's easily just tanking. You know, he can do damage, etc., etc. He's really, really good. I don't think a lot of people give him enough credit, but I will say I do think 11 might be above him. I do, for the simple fact that she has Power Strike and she has this AoE. But I see, this is where it gets tough, because 11 has better stats, but Omega Rugel can increase all of his stats by 15%. His crit damage is not like important. His crit chance sucks. He has no crit chance at level 1 base, right? His substats are terrible. But when he gets the extra 15% on top of his Pierce, it's like the damage that he's dealing is incredible. And like, it actually is. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but I think 11 might be better because of Power Strike. Literally just because of Power Strike, and you also can use her in PvE events. Keep that in mind, guys. It also isn't about PvP. It is, you know, about the whole like 9 yards, the whole game. So 11 can be used in like training caves. She can be used in final bosses. She can be used in, you know, guild boss. She can be used on a lot of things. Rugel, I feel like Rugel, his best place is probably gonna be Guild Wars or geared PvP. I think those are the only two places where you really are gonna benefit from having him, right? I really do. Whereas 11, you can run her in multiple places in PvP or PvE, and you can still run her in PvP. So I think that's where she has more value. I honestly do. But I meant to say this as well about Jim. You can't use his passive in death matches, so that hurts him. Mai, you can use her passive, of course. You can use it anywhere. Mai is very, very strong. And you also, I guess you could use her in PvE events, but not, you know, why would you use her? Like, being realistic, why would you use her in PvE, you know? Like, she's not a PvE unit. She was kind of built for PvP. Like, let's be real, when she came out. So, yeah, same thing with Omega Rugel. He was kind of built for PvP only. But yeah, 11 definitely has the edge over Omega Rugel in that regard. In terms of just overall raw damage, she can match him. She actually can match Rugel because of her passive. She deals 40% extra damage, but Rugel overall, I think, is just gonna output a lot more damage. I feel like he is. Like, he's very strong, very, very strong. You know, I am gonna work on him, by the way. I am working on Rugel. It's gonna take time, but I feel like Rugel, I didn't give him the respect he deserves, so that's why I'm working on him. But 11 is very strong, very, very strong. But these two definitely are probably, I would say, the underrated gems of collab characters. 11 is, I don't want to say she's underrated, because a lot of people used her, right? A lot of people used her, but I think just she doesn't really have too much else going on for her. Plus, she does take away her HP for every time you use a skill, so that hurts her as well. But Rem and Ram, when they came out, man, the Ray Zero collab character batch, that was a very, very strong batch. I would say it's between, honestly, no, Ray Zero is probably #1 best collab that Grand Cross did. I want to say, yeah, I would say KOF was the second. KOF was the second. The third, I'll give it to Attack on Titan, I guess. Nah, the third was definitely Stranger Things. Third was Stranger Things. Fourth was Attack on Titan. I think the last one is probably Slime. Slime is just old. That's the only reason. Slime is old. If they were to get updated cards now, it'd be a wrap. Like, it was simply not even be up for discussion. But Rem, I think at #4 fits her really good. That's not to say she's worse than Ram. But Ram, I feel like a lot of people use Ram than they do Rem. I just feel like I just feel like that's the case, because Ram has this amazing passive that can be used on the sub slot, and it's just gonna help unknown race allies so much, right? It's just very, very good. She has a stun. I don't think the rupture really matters, but she also decreases attack related stats, which is very nice to have as a you know, a setback to her kit, right? You're setting the opponents back by lowering their attack related stats and stunning them. I think that's really, really strong. Rem is an amazing offensive unit. In terms of offense, she is better than every single collab character probably on this ranking list here. The only one that I think that would match her is Omega Rugel and maybe 11, right? And maybe 11, but that's it. And even then, I don't know, because Rem, you get her buffed up with her passive and her amplify. She's a different breed. But Omega Rugel, of course, has an AoE attack, whereas this is single target, right? I kind of wish they would have gave her an AoE amplify now, man. That would have been crazy. Like, that would have been crazy. Imagine Rem with an AoE amplify. Imagine that. Just imagine that, right? She's ranking up, she's ranking up her skills, moving them, whatever, and then she's also getting the attack related stats increase. On top of that, she's insane. Like, right then and there, she's insane. It doesn't even matter. Like, she's bonkers, man. She's incredible. But of course, it's a single target, which does more, but it's only single target. Either way, very, very strong DPS. Very, very strong DPS. She also will recover 30% of her max HP when she has full ultimate move gauge orbs, right? As long as she has max ultimate move gauge, she will recover 30% of her max HP, which is phenomenal. She also is getting a 25% boost to her attack related stats. You know, add that on with the new festival Gotha that dropped, and she's at, I believe, 45% attack related stats. She's insane. What do you want me to say? She also has this incredible debuff, which is pretty similar to nullification, but not really. It's just AoE damage and decreases the ultimate move damage, and it disables ultimate move effects. So it is very, very powerful. And whereas nullification cannot stop Elizabeth, I think this does. I actually think that this stops Elizabeth's, shield and revive. Anything that deals with stances and or recovery, this will actually restrict. So keep that in mind as well. And then her ult is a Shatter AoE ult, which you guys already know how I feel about that. Come on now. That's one of the best effects on an ultimate, in my opinion. It's really, really, really strong. So Rem definitely is very, very good. But I do think a lot of people use Ram more than they use Rem, and Rem can be used on the back of the unknown team. But I could see you putting Rem here as well. I could see it being either way. I just feel like a lot of people would agree with Rem being 4 and then Ram being number 3. Personally, I feel like they would be in favor of that. And finally, the last two. I do not think it's even up for a debate at this point. I don't think it's up for a debate. Kyo has stood the test of time. My boy Kyo has gone through so many meta changes, and he has somehow still been able to be at the top, the pinnacle of collab characters in the game. He just has. Like, it's not fair for other collab characters, and it's because of the ignites. Like, the ignites do so much on his kit that it's insane. Like, it just makes him I don't want to say timeless. I don't want to say that. That's not the right word, but it just makes him a long-lasting character, like, for the game's lifespan. It just does. I don't know. Kyo's very, very good. Very, very good. He helps out the team with the ignites. He helps out himself with ignites. He is just so strong. Like, he's very, very strong. I don't know what else to say besides that. Very, very good, hybrid, both DPS and support. He plays a pretty decent role as support, but in terms of DPS, he just plays a phenomenal role at that, so long as you're getting the ignites. Let me just say that, as long as you're getting the ignites. If you cannot get ignites or they're cleansed, I'm saying right now, Kyo probably moves down, like, probably below my. Like, it's that simple. Like, it's that simple. He just does, because he doesn't have anything. Like, he might honestly be like right here. Like, he might be number 10, but as long as he gets his ignites, Kyo is right there at number 2. I don't care. And then obviously Amelia at number 1. It doesn't even matter at this point. Amelia being at number 1 is set in stone. Use her in PvE, use her in PvP. She freezes, she sets back the ult on enemies, she has secret technique damage on her ult. It's not fair. She freezes if you hit her twice. She's cleanses debuffs. By the way, let me just say that cleanses debuffs. Yeah, she's good. Like, she's the best. Amelia is number 1 collab character. Number 1. I don't think it's up for a discussion either. I don't think so. I think a lot of people would be in favor of Amelia being number 1. There's no one who can do it better than her in terms of collab characters. Like, there's literally nobody on here, because let's say she goes up against Rugel, who has type advantage over her, right? Let's say she goes up against Rugel. She can freeze him. She can freeze him. You know, she gets him below 50%. He procs his passive. Okay. He removes the debuff. She can freeze him again. Then she can do secret technique damage. He can he can kill her with damage. I'm not gonna lie, he can, but she just has so much that, you know, that helps out the team, that helps out herself. Like, it's not even fair. But Amelia being at number 1 is definitely warranted with her amazing kit. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this ranking list of collab characters. I think it's pretty good. Of course, there's some units you could move around here and there. Like, you could potentially even move 11 right here. Like, there's so many changes that you can do. You can move Omega Rugel right here. But I want to know what you guys think. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this list itself down below in the comment section. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like. And as always, you guys already know, I will see you all next time.